Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and I'm the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo Glitter. If you guys are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that all of my groups and links are posted in the description below in case you guys want to check them out. Today's tutorial is day 10 of my 12 days of Christmas. We are almost to the end of this, you guys. I have had so much fun posting these daily videos of different Christmas items, and I hope you guys have enjoyed them as well. Today's tutorial is a fun blinged gnome pin. And if you guys did not know, I actually started out as a blinger many years ago, way before I got into tumblers and any other craft. So blinging definitely holds a special place in my heart, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget that all of my 12 days of Christmas tutorials have a giveaway associated with it. You can find all the details in my tutorial group, but for now we're going to go ahead and get started on this tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys didn't know, I will be teaching a 2-day class at next year's TUMBLERCON. If y'all are interested in going, I do have a link to tickets in the description, as well as a discount code for my class. I cannot wait to meet you guys in person, and I hope to see you there. Okay guys, so to get started, we're going to need a pen. I am using the Papermate Inkjoy Gel. This is the style I typically use for glitter, for bling, because they're easy to get. You don't necessarily have to order them. And I'm just going to disassemble all of the little parts, keep them in a little cup so you don't lose them. And once you remove everything, we're going to sand this little plastic piece that is sticking up, as well as the back part, and kind of buff the surface. That way everything is nice and smooth. We'll have a flat surface for our rhinestones. And then I spray painted it with a rustic pink spray paint. And then we will be ready to start blinging. My adhesive of choice is Liquid Fusion. I also use the Crystal Katana. You can typically pick up the Crystal Katanas from Michael's, but you can also order them directly from the Crystal Ninja site, or you can get some cheaper options from Amazon. So I am going to first start with my little gnome's nose. I figured that this would be a good starting point because it was kind of like the center of my little pin, and it was kind of how I was going to base my design around his nose. And at first I started outlining it with black because I had kind of a different vision in my head before I got started, which based on the pictures you can tell that I changed my mind. I just wanted to show you guys that even if you start doing something and you end up not liking it, you can still change it. As long as the adhesive is still wet, you can still remove them, smooth everything out, which is what I ended up doing. But the crystal sizes that I am using, the tiny little black ones are, I believe, SS8. And then the champagne ones are kind of a mixture of SS 6, 8, and 12, I believe. And these are the crystal shadow crystals. Also like a kind of like a light champagne. And I was still trying to decide if I liked the black outline. So I was going to start outlining the hat in black, and that's pretty much when I decided that I did not like the black. So I just scraped them off. If you want to save your crystals, you can definitely wash them with some hot water to get all the adhesive off of them, but I really did not care at this point. So I just went around and added an extra little layer of the champagne crystals just to make his nose just a little larger since we took away that black outline. And once I get the basic shape, I kind of tighten everything up with the metal end of my crystal katana. Just kind of squeeze everything together to try to get rid of as many little spaces as I can. So I was pretty happy with how his nose was looking at this point. So I decided I was going to go ahead and add the outline for his hat. And I wanted him to have kind of a little floppy hat. So we're just adding the little floppy part. Just kind of like a slouchy style. So I'm just outlining it with the crystals. And this is just so it has like a good definition between the body of the gnome and then his little hat. And then we're going to let this dry before we move on to the next step. So after his hat is good and dry, I am going to go in and add his beard. And this was another part that I ended up changing. I really thought it would be cute to do a white and clear mixture for his beard, but I ended up not liking the crystal clear stones mixed in with the white. So this was another part that I did change. I ended up taking off all of the crystal clear. I felt like the clear stones kind of blended the beard a little bit, and it didn't look like that bright white that I was wanting. So again, y'all can learn from my mistakes. But I am just using stone sizes between SS6 and SS14, which is about 2 to 4 millimeters. And yes, I am just freehanding all of this. I just kind of had a vision in my head what I wanted him to look like and just went with that. If you guys feel more comfortable drawing it out first, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to put vinyl down first, you can do that as well. And I also want to point out that I did do my entire pen with this pink base because I wanted to kind of soften all the colors together, and I wanted the spaces that were going to be visible to be pink, so it kind of blended the whole pen together. Like you can see in the pictures, even the beard has like a very soft kind of pink hue because the pink is kind of shining through, which kind of gives it a softer feel. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you did a white underneath base, then the white would shine through and kind of like brighten it up. But I wanted to go for more of that soft pastel hue. So I'm just doing one little more outline stroke. And this is a much smaller scale than what I'm used to working on. I've probably only done a few pins. I'm used to working on larger items, so I don't typically use a precision tip bottle, but that definitely would have come in handy for a smaller project like this. So I would not have had such large lines of glue, but sometimes you just have to work with what you have. And once his beard is complete, we're also going to sit and let this dry. But like I mentioned, I did end up taking off the crystal clear stones and replacing them with the white stones, which you guys will see in the next little clip. And I just like the look of the full white beard a lot better. I just think it makes the beard kind of stand out a little bit more. So once his beard is dry and you have it how you like, we're going to start blinging the body of the little gnome. And I did decide just to take one little heart sprinkle and add it to the little end of his hat, kind of like a little heart puffball. So when I start to work in my larger sections, I try to keep it around 2 inches by 2 inches. I know that my adhesive will stay pretty tacky. If you are new to blinging, or you know that you are a slower worker, I would start with smaller sections just because you don't want that adhesive to dry on whatever item you're working on and then have like an uneven surface to work with. And the stones that I'm using for his body are literally just random stones that I had in my mixture that I picked out. I think that they are light rose, dark rose, light pink AB, light amethyst AB, crystal clear, and maybe a little bit of pink opal. So I just picked out a bunch of different stones and just kind of mixed them all together just to get a color that I wanted. I know this is the 12 days of Christmas, but I kind of made him Valentine. And I'm using the same sizes as before, between SS6 and SS16, which is about 2 to 4 millimeters. I think that that is a good size for pins. Those are typically the only sizes that I do use. If I'm working on a larger project, sometimes I will also use SS20, which is about 5 millimeters. So once we got the first section finished, I'm going to move down and I'm going to apply about a 1-inch band of adhesive around the pin, which is still about 2 inches in total. And we're just going to grab some stones and pop them on. And when I'm working with mixtures, I don't really think about what color stone I'm grabbing too much. As long as your mixture is kind of mixed up, then whatever stone you grab should be fine to place. If I do notice that it's getting, like one section is getting really heavy on a certain color, then I will start to kind of purposely place a different color next to it. But for the most part, I just kind of grab whatever color I pick up. So we are going to move down to our last section. And when I get to the edges or the ends of my pen or tumbler, whatever I'm working on, I will apply a line of crystals along the base of whatever I am working on, just to ensure that that will be a straight line. And then I will work my way and blend the ends in the middle. Y'all can see me like talking with my hands. I was on the phone with one of my friends during this part that I was blinging my pen. So I have noticed that in this video where you can clearly see me like talking with my hands. So I'm just outlining the very bottom of the pen just so we get that straight line. And then we're moving upwards to blend the two sections together. And the reason I do this is just so you don't want to get to the end of your pen and then your crystal is not going to fit perfectly to give you that straight line. So we want to make sure we have that straight line along the base, and then we can blend the middle part with different sized crystals. So now that his little body is finished, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, and then we will come back and do his hat. And look, there I am talking with my hands again. All right, so now that the body of our little gnome is dry, we're going to start working on the hat part. And I decided to use blue. I was debating on using like a red or crystal clear or something like that, but I didn't think that there would be enough contrast. So I opted to use some small crystal clear stones and some blue opal. I think that these are SS8 and SS12 is the blue opal, I believe, which is about 3 millimeters. And I really liked the look of this because the blue opal was a very soft color. So with the pink shining through the blue opal, it just kind of gave it an even softer feel, which I really liked. And it also tied it into the pink that was on the body of our gnome. And I'm just doing this little hat section where the floppy part is first, just because it was kind of like a skinny section. And once I got that part down, I started working on the rest of him. We're just adding just a small amount of adhesive, and then I'm using my little metal part of my Rhinestone Picker to kind of get it in all of these smaller sections. And of course I had to add a little heart on his hat as well. And then I'm just filling in with the stones. And if you guys did not know, this would be considered like the scatter method. And that is my preferred method when it comes to rhinestoning. I don't like everything looking so perfect. That's just my personal preference. Some people really love the look of the straight rows where everything is like perfectly in line. But for me, if I tried to do something that was a straight line, which I have done in the past, To me, it's just more stressful trying to get everything 100% perfect, because if something looks off just a little bit, then it bothers me. So I know if I don't want to stress myself out, then the scatter method is the best way for me to rhinestone. I just kind of pick a crystal and place it where it fits in. So now we are on our last little section. So again, we are just starting right up at the top, getting that nice straight line. And then we're just going to fill in the remaining space with our crystals. And once you get this hat finished, I will kind of tighten everything up with the metal end of my crystal picker. And if I can scoot things over and fit another crystal, then I will do that now as well, just to try to eliminate as many little tiny spaces as we can. And then once your adhesive dries, you are completely finished with this pen. You do not want to seal it. Rhinestones get their sparkle from reflecting light off of all of the little facets. And if you seal it with any type of sealer or epoxy or UV resin, then those facets will become flat and they won't be able to reflect off all of the light. So once your crystals are applied and it's dry, you are good to go. We can put our pen back together. So you're going to have 4 parts. This little black piece slides into the silver piece that goes in your pen. Then we put our ink tube and then we screw the cap back on, tighten everything up, make sure that the clicker works, and then your pen will be ready to use or ship off to your customer. And here are some finished pictures of this pen. I think he turned out super cute. I love his little beard. He's just like a little Valentine gnome. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you try a little gnome pen, make sure to post in one of my groups because I love to see what you guys come up with. If you enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, make sure to check out my tutorial group or our Damn Fancy tribe. Both are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.